UN's weather agency warned Friday a supercyclonic storm was heading towards Oman and war-ravaged Yemen, where it could strike with hurricane force and dump torrential rain that may trigger landslides. Named Chapala, the storm is brewing in the Arabian Sea and is expected to make landfall in northern Yemen and the adjoining Oman coast around midnight Monday, the World Meteorological Organization, WMO, said. Tropical cyclones are extremely rare over the Arabian Peninsula, WMO spokeswoman Claire Nullies told reporters, adding that the storm might well be the first of its kind to hit Yemen. The WMO described Chapala as an extremely severe cyclonic storm. Chapala is poised to strengthen to become a supercyclonic storm within the next 24 hours, packing wind speeds of between 220 and 230 kilometers, 127 to 143 miles per hour in the next 24 hours, it added. That is the equivalent of a Category 4 hurricane. Because of the dry air from the Arabian Desert and lower ocean thermal energy, we do expect it will weaken before it makes landfall, Nullies said, saying the storm would likely hit land as the equivalent as a Category 1 hurricane, with winds of up to 160 kilometers per hour. But even so, there will still be very high gale force winds in an area which is just not used to seeing this, she warned. The storm is forecast to make landfall in an area of Yemen that is sparsely populated, but it could have a big impact in Oman, where it is expected to hit the port city Salalah, which has some 200,000 inhabitants. In both countries, WMO expects the most serious impacts to be from the very heavy anticipated rainfall, Nullies said, citing reports that the area might get the equivalent of more than a year's worth of rainfall in a matter of days. This could have serious consequences in the very arid area, where the infrastructure is not designed to cope with so much water. There is a risk of quite serious damage to the infrastructure, there's a risk of landslides, mudslides, Nullies said. The Oman Meteorological Department had warned of flash flooding in some areas starting as early as Saturday evening, as well as wave heights along the coast of between 5 and 7 meters, 16.5 and 23 feet. Nullies said the emergence of Chapala was likely caused by a mix of warmer sea temperatures and meteorological shifts. She said it was possible climate change was playing a role, but that it was impossible to attribute one particular cyclone to the warming weather system. But with climate change, we're really heading into unknown territory, she said. We have to be prepared to face the unexpected.
Powerful tropical cyclone heading towards Yemen, of all places. The cyclone, known as Chapala, is showing some signs of weakening but remains a real threat in the Arabian Peninsula. Heavy rains, flooding expected when it makes landfall on Monday, and CNN meteorologist Tom Sater has been tracking the storm. And yeah, Yemen cyclone, it doesn't gel.
No, it doesn't. In fact, we went back to 1945 and looked at the records, and this is going to be the strongest, we believe, to ever make landfall. I mean, they don't have very many of them. If they do, it's usually Oman that gets hit. But this is going to be still strong, and the video you're seeing is, well, it proves it. Now, let's talk about this picture. Let me show you a satellite image. This has a well-defined eye right now. That means it's going to be very difficult for this storm to lose strength before landfall, which we believe will be late Monday night, overnight into Tuesday morning. And if you go back and look at the history, I mean, reliable records really only back to the 1980s. This is the second strongest tropical cyclone ever recorded in the Arabian Sea. And the strongest really only by about 20 kilometers. For all of the Indian Ocean, there's about 5 a year, 5 cyclones, 75% of them in the Bay of Bengal. Not many, 25%. You might get 1 or 2 here, but nothing like this size. And look where this is going. The Red Sea here, into the Gulf of Aden. 400 ships a week go through here, and this is going right into the mouth. But because it's spinning counterclockwise, high winds, strong surf and seas, and the outer bands have already been affecting areas of Oman. The last 2 storms that are even equivalent to this in the last 10 years, both made landfall up here, not in Yemen. Again, wind gusts right now at 250 kilometers per hour. It may lose a little bit of strength, but still could be a category strong 2 or 3. And again, this area here, Al Makalla, they get about maybe 50 millimeters a year. This is going to drop 250 to 3. That's several years worth of rainfall, which is going to cause massive debris flows and flash flooding. That's going to take out any kind of power structure you have with, power lines and communication. So, Michael, this is a big, big deal here. You just don't see this kind of rain in this area. Again, late Monday night into Tuesday morning landfall. Something unprecedented we haven't seen in this